Oh my god, that dog has a human face. Hello lovely people, my name is Emma, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you haven't been here before. This is going to be a weird one to start on, to be honest. The energy in here is very chaotic today. There was just a marching band outside, I don't know what happened, I was so surprised to see that here that I just sort of stared at them. To explain what I'm actually going to do today, I think I need to take us back into the past. A long while ago, I purchased a little fun DIY home craft kit of a little miniature room because I love tiny things. I love tiny things are so cute. One of my favourite things is tiny things. I'm quite tiny, so little tiny things make me feel like a giant. I love it. So it arrived, very complicated, big bag full of lots of things. Some tools came with it, and then I needed some more tools, and there were wires. And then the whole thing, it turns out, is the whole thing's written in Chinese. I did start doing a tiny bit of Mandarin, but I've not gotten much further than Ni Hao and Sai Qian, so I can only have extremely short conversations. We very quickly get to the point where all I can say is goodbye. So I have pretty much been eyeballing it for the most part based on the pictures, and then when I get stuck I'm using Google Translate, although I'm not 100% sure it's always accurate. So anyway, I had this big kit for a while. I bought it based on kind of an in-joke and then personal things, and I didn't want to make the specific thing that it was anymore. Don't want to do it, maybe sad, so I've just had essentially like a big, like excluding the rulers and things I've essentially just had like a big bag of crafting things just sat unloved for months. And then a little while back I was enjoying a video by Garrett Watts. I'll put a link to the video in the description so you can see where the inspiration came from. It's not, I don't know if it counts as inspiration if I just kind of stole the idea and then made it small. He did this video series where he made his dream 90s room, the most iconic magical thing. I was in awe and insanely jealous, and I was like, I would love to do that, but I don't have a house and I don't have that kind of money. And then I was like, but I love tiny things. What if I built a very tiny version of like a dream childhood room of mine? So that's what this is. So I actually looked online a little while to find little like diorama, you know, 2 or 3 wall doll's house sort of miniature kits. And then I realised that I've got this entire room. It's meant to be a cafe, but I could totally repurpose it to just be a little room. So that's what I've done. I like got so into, I've been like crafting little bits of it while I listen to audiobooks. It's like so satisfying. I've never done anything like this before, so it's shit. It's really bad, but it has been like such a nice wind down. I find it really hard to not work. I find it like I always feel, I know a lot of people get like this, so you might be able to relate, but I always feel like guilty if I'm not being productive, even though I essentially work 7 days a week. I'm just like, oh, if I'm not doing something, I don't feel good. But so doing little crafting things gives you the feeling of being productive, but also it's like quite nice and you can use it to relax. So I'll show you what I got so far. The door's just fallen out. Alright, don't laugh. I'm just kidding, you're allowed to laugh. You might notice upon looking closely, it's pretty janky. These walls are just the cardboard, and then this I painted really badly. Although next to the cardboard it looks much better. So I've got, I made all this, you know? Like, it's shit, but I did it. I made that little door handle. There's a set of stairs that goes here, but I did that yesterday and I did it wrong. So it's currently, I'm hoping the glue is drying under a stack of books at the moment. That bit of wall was meant to be on the inside, but I put this section the wrong way around to start with, so the floor didn't fit. So now that bit of wallpaper is on the outside, but that's fine. Inside, we've got this split layer with a little step. All of this is like this wood craft board. So all of the wood textures, I had to stick those on myself. You can see the wires in the corner, right? And then, okay, so when I started the electronics process, all 3 of the lights worked. When I got about halfway through connecting wires, one of them stopped working. By the time I got to the end and connected everything to the battery, another one stopped working. But it's like, it was so much hassle and such a nightmare that disconnecting it and redoing it would be also a nightmare. So we're just going to live with the fact that only one of the lights works. But yeah, so there's my tiny room. I still think this is fairly successful for me. Oh, and then I've got tiny little tiny little bookcases. Again, they're not exactly beautiful, but I made them, and I got the wood texture on every single piece. There you see, I've got little stairs and my little shelves. It's all lovely. Yeah, it's rustic. I'm going with that. Like the miniature person that lives in this little room, the tiny me that lives here, will say that their furniture is all homemade, you know, and secondhand. It's all meant to be rustic. That's the thing. What I am gonna do is fill this lovely little hovel with stuff that was rad when I was a kid. I was born in 95, so I'm a child of the late 90s, early 2000s, that sort of period that crossed over. You know, I listened to Blur and I played PlayStation. That's the kind of vibe, you know? I'm thinking, like, I want to find, like, video game posters and stick them on the walls. I even have got new ink cartridges specifically for being able to print things out, so that's how dedicated I am right now. Before I jump into figuring out what I want to put in the room and ordering things, I want to look at what is actually in the kit first, because there's a lot of little miniature things. Now, obviously, this kit's meant to be a cafe, but there's like little chairs and things that I could definitely repurpose for a room. And the nice thing about it being a cafe is that it's got all little coffee making stuff. There's like little coffee machines and a bean grinder and stuff that obviously at this point in my life I was a child, but this is me as an adult living nostalgically through childhood pleasures, so I think it's fine for me to be a coffee addict in my miniature world. There's some really complicated looking flower pots, flower arrangements and things, which are like lovely. There's also, there's a bunch of tiny books. There's like a series of just little bits of card and then book covers that they've put on them. So I thought if I find the appropriate scale, I could print my own book covers for books that I would have read. So here we go. Look, all those tiny books. There's some like Hans Christian Andersen fairy tales, which I definitely read. Some of them are kind of horrifying and you question what the moral is, but I definitely did read those. There's some Grimm's fairy tales. Yeah, there's definitely a few of these that I'll nab, but I think what I'll do is I'll use this as a base and see if I can find my own books. There's a really sweet little teapot and a mug, and then some sort of similar coffee pots, so we're gonna have to try and make a couple of those. Right, I think that's everything. Oh look, here's a little sort of overview of everything that we have. So there you go, that's my little room. That's the stuff that we're gonna grab. I think I've got enough of an understanding of what's gonna go in and the layout to be able to think about what we need to get. New setup, so that we can... Whoa! Lifted my whole desk up with my knee. That's frightening that I can do that, but never mind, worry about that later. I have microwaved the remains of my first cup of cold coffee. So what did I have as a kid that was important? PlayStation. Obviously PlayStation. I was a PlayStation child all the way. I did have, in fact, I can show you what I have, because I am, as is obvious through this video, I am a nostalgia addict. I did have handheld Nintendo consoles. So this is exactly what I had as a kid. Purple GBA with the Wormlight, because this was this was before you had backlit consoles. So I did have Nintendo handheld consoles, but PlayStation kid all the way. I mostly rented games. We pretty much rented games from the shop. By the time we hit the PS2, I built up quite a collection, because back in those days, back in those glorious days, Game Station was still open. You might not even know what Game Station is, but I lived there. You used to be able to get... The second-hand section was like half of the shops in those days, and it would be like, here's the 4 for £10 PlayStation 2 section, and that was how I got all of my games. I'm in a particular period of my childhood, in my head. I'm in this house with this stuff, and in this house I had an acoustic guitar. And then for a little while, when I thought I was going to be a really cool rock star, I had a hot pink electric guitar. Don't know if anybody out there is making miniature hot pink electric guitars, but you know, we never know. Obviously, I was reading Harry Potter. Always been a big fan of Dracula. That's probably like an obvious one to do, right? I'm in plushies, right? Plushies and figurines. I used to collect fairy figurines. Again, I don't know if anyone is making miniature fairies. I feel like that would be very hard to do, but I'll put it down for the sake of posterity. So I got this pink TV with a video player in it, and because it wasn't connected, you know, back in those days everything had to be connected by cables to the you know, so it would only play videotapes. So again, we would rent them from the shop across the road, and I would be able to watch my tiny TV in bed. It was like on top of a wardrobe really far away, so and the screen was so small, so it was like I could probably barely see it. but I fucking loved it. It was amazing. For some reason, I have memories of really enjoying Cinderella 2, which now that I think about it, I can't remember what the plot was or anything about it. Just that I guess it was something in the shop that we used to rent. But so Cinderella 2 was a thing that I used to enjoy on video. It's such a like tragedy. I used to eat a lot of crisps at this point in my life. Like my happy memories from being a kid are sitting in front of the PlayStation and eating crisps while playing like Sly Raccoon. So again, don't know if people are making miniature crisps, but I'm gonna put it on the list anyway. I'd really like a little tank. I mean, what I want now is aquatic frogs. At the time, I would have liked some fish. Okay, cool. I think that's probably enough to get going with, right? We got some ideas. I am going to get another coffee, and then we're going to start trawling the internet to see what we can find. Now we get to do my favourite thing, which is looking on the internet for stupid things to buy. A lot of, obviously, Doll's House and miniature stuff is very kind of Victorian. Just, like, my tastes are so fucking weird and eclectic. Oh my god, a coffin. Oh my god, I swear my grandparents had stuff just like this. Oh my gosh, tiger bread. Oh my gosh, I get those hay fever tablets. Oh my god. A little rubber duck. I need a little rubber duck. A, I've always had ducks and love rubber ducks. B, little duck is literally my brand. Oh, that's a really cute one as well. Oh my god, that one's so funny. Ceramics. Chickens, Christmas items. Oh my gosh, what if I decorated my little room for Christmas and Halloween every year? Oh my god, a chihuahua in a carrier bag. Oh my god, that dog has a human face. Koi carp silicone rubber mold for making unlimited koi carp for you. Why do you need, how many do you need? I don't understand. Oh my god, a little Hello Kitty. Little Hello Kitty cushions. Those are amazing. I'm gonna need some sort of chair. I'm gonna have to remember to get a chair at some point. Okay, we're having those. I will look for the specific things from my list. I just, like, I have to look at all of the cute because, oh my god, I'm sorry, I got distracted because there's a naughty cat in this plant pot squashing the flowers. How cute is that? Oh my god, fish and chips. Oh my god, look! Mixed crisps. That's exactly what I wanted. That is a little buddy. Oh my god, that's a little buddy. Oh my god, that's a little buddy. Oh my god, look at his face. Look at the frogs. There's a whole frog category and they're amazing. I am so happy. Oh my god, that's totally it. Basically the guitar I had. This person has just made everything that I want in miniature form. I'm gonna spend like £100 in this one person's Etsy store because everything is so amazing. What's that? What's happening there? What's happened to him? Who did this? Okay, TV. Oh, CD player. I think this might technically be a cake topper. Oh, a mini camera. We need some kind of chair. I need somewhere to sit. That's a banjo. That's a weird thing to come up when you search for sofa, but that's cool. I just want to make an entire miniature world. Oh my god, what's that? That's frightening. Oh no, that's the one. That's the one. Everything, like, my understanding of scale now is all wrong. I can't understand what's miniature and what's real size. I'm confused. That's a terrifying looking Bible. That is a terrifying looking Bible. Oh, those are terrifying looking babies. I have done some intense shopping. So now what I'm going to do is see if I can figure out printing some little books, maybe a couple of posters. Okay, so what I have done is I have very loosely measured with a measuring tape the size of the books, and then I've scanned it and I've imported one so that I can so that hopefully I'll be able to just lay covers on top and this will sort of work. This might be a shambles. Philosopher's Stone, first Harry Potter book. Just, of course, might not be quite right, but let's just try. Look how cute. But does it fit? I think it looks right. Oh, it looks a tiny bit big actually. Ugh. Oh, what if? Okay, I've just thought of a much smarter plan. A4, and then I can do it all real size to the size of the paper. Ahaha! Does that look about right? So then, I've also grabbed a Kafka. The only one I could find that had like a full book cover was Metamorphosis. Not my favourite. These are all like much fatter than actual book size, but that's cool. Got Dracula, because obviously, one of my faves. I've got an H.P. Lovecraft, again. The Dunwich Horror. It's not a favourite, but it's one that they had they had an actual front and back for. Oopsie, that's not the size that we want it to be. Oh my god, okay, the Suitcase Kid. One of, if not my favourite Jacqueline Wilsons. Because I've got a couple of these where I haven't got a middle spine. What's going to be the best way to deal with that, do we think? Do you know what? That's going to be good enough. I've decided that's going to be good enough. Paris in the 20th century. Genuinely my favourite Jules Verne, and this colour was so pretty, but again, I've not got a back this time. So I'm kind of tempted to just put the front on the back. It's one of those things where it's like, it's so small, who is going to be able to tell? Like, it's just got two front colours. Whoa. Ian Livingstone and Steve Jackson. You guys are the best. Even though your stupid books are really hard. They're really hard. A fighting fantasy, by the way, it didn't really occur to me until just now that there might be people that don't know what fighting fantasy is. It's like a solo RPG, you can play it on your own. You roll dice to determine what happens, you have stats, and it's like, you know, if you... do you attack the skeleton? Go to page, whatever, it's one of those. They did like a whole amazing series. I wrote about it for my final project in my MA. That's how much I love fighting fantasy. This is such a tiny scale to be working on. Like, the thing is, I'm like fussing so much about how these look. I have to make them, so they're gonna be so shit that it's like, it's not gonna matter. You're not gonna be able to see them. So the PS2 game of Jak and Daxter came with a map, and that has always been on my wall. Lovely, I love it. How big's a piece of paper? Whoop, nah. Whoa. Oh, we've got two video game posters. We've got some of my fave books. We have ordered an astounding amount from the internet. By we, I mean me. You don't have to take any responsibility for my foolishness. I am super excited and super happy with everything that we've got. I'm going to go away and I'm going to make up the rest of the furniture and all the little bits as well as I can and try and do the books and things like that. And I will get everything ready for when all the stuff arrives, and then we'll put it all together. This is going to be so exciting. Thank you so much for watching. Do like this video if you liked it. I know it was a little bit silly, but you've got to have a little bit of fun sometimes in between all of the important life things. You've got to have a little bit of silliness in your life. Do subscribe if you're not already, and if you don't want to miss the next part. All my social medias are in the thing. As always, I would like to say a huge thank you to my lovely giant chickens over on Patreon. Amber, blacknoisyblue, the blue minipxl, ChicFilADeathFries, and Connla, Chicken Maximus Lyons. God damn it, Connla. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon.